Hey everyone, it's Dr. Keys. Welcome to the Keys to Confidence podcast. I'm here with Shauna, my wonderful office manager, and we are excited to chat about all things skin, beauty, health, wellness, and to help unlock your inner confidence. If you have any questions you would like me to answer on future episodes, send us a DM on Instagram at KeysMD Cosmetic Clinic or email us at info@keysmd.ca and I'll try to answer as many as I can on upcoming shows. If you like what you hear, don't forget to share and subscribe so that you never miss another episode and to help us grow. Now let's get started.
Welcome to Keys to Confidence. I'm joined today with Dr. Keys. Dr. Keys, how's it going?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
Good. We made a pact to start the podcast off by me asking you random questions.
Like always.
And today's question of the day is, what is your favorite fall drink?
PSL. I'm having one right now.
You are so basic.
So basic.
PSLs are so good though.
You got me hooked on them, so I have no one to blame but you.
Yeah, that's true. I love anything pumpkin is just so good.
Yeah, that's right. And what's yours?
Today I'm having it's a warm Americano with pumpkin cold foam and a shot of pumpkin spice. It's really good. So today's episode, we're going to be talking about the top myths that surround cosmetic aesthetics. I feel like being in this industry, there's been so many questions and we see it and hear it all of the time. I feel like it's more of a generational thing than, like, I guess the younger crowd like myself. It's more of your crowd, really, that have questions about this stuff.
Are you saying I'm old?
Yeah.
You're only like 2 years younger than me.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a few questions on like the top myths surrounding our aesthetic industry. The first question that I have for you is botox actually extremely painful?
So painful. That's why no one does it. It's the least popular procedure out there.
Totally. The least popular.
No, absolutely not. We use such a small needle. It's actually typically an insulin syringe that's used. So very little pain. It feels like a little pinching sensation, almost like a little mosquito bite. And that's, also because of the results, but it is the most common and most popular cosmetic procedure out there.
Yeah, I've been poked with the needle a couple of times in my forehead. And honestly, like, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, like the pain level is like a 1. It's super fast. And by the end of it, you don't even feel like anything.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a super quick procedure, often one or 2 minutes to do the injections. So yeah, it's very tolerable, pretty much pain-free.
This leads me into my next question. Botox leads to frozen face looking over the top fake. Is that true?
This typically is not true, but I do get this a lot, especially people coming in for their first time. They don't want to look like the celebrities they see on TV from California or New York or wherever they're seeing these people. Typically, those are often like facelifts that maybe sometimes are botched or they're overfilled with filler. Not typically from Botox, if you know what you're doing with it at least. Sometimes you can get some abnormal brow elevation or brow drop or something like that. Some people do actually want the frozen look where they can't really raise their eyebrows or they can't frown at all. I think that's a little less natural. I think a little bit of movement is still the best, but everyone has their own preference.
Patients can come in to see you and work with you individually and come up with like a customized treatment plan. So they can have a little bit of movement or they can be completely frozen. I guess it's their personal preference.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we have some people and they come back and they have a little bit of movement and they want a little bit more to completely get rid of it. And I mean, everyone's got their preference, like you said. So if that's what they want, usually I'll deliver.
And the nice thing about Botox too is if anyone wants to actually try it, they can come in, they try out how many units that you guys discuss. And then if they don't like it at all, the Botox wears off within like 3 to 4 months and they don't have to get it ever again.
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's another myth too. They'll ask, like, if I stop taking this, will my lines get worse than they were, before I started? And
Hmm.
that obviously, and I shouldn't say obviously, but that is not the case. You just go back to what you were previously.
These days, can anyone administer Botox and give the same results?
Well, you would you would wonder, right?
Yeah.
So many people are administering it, giving Botox, and the regulations really aren't that strict surrounding it. So I would say absolutely not. There's a wide range of experience and education and training between injectors. Right now, it's like a 1 day program for providers to do training and come out and start injecting people. So yeah, I would say definitely you want to go to an experienced provider that's had the proper training.
For sure. I've talked to a few people that like they've shared their horror stories and I'm just taken back. I can't believe like in this day and age people like anywhere is really administering Botox and that is like the scariest thing to me. It's your face. It's not like your body, like a body part. Like it's just like people see your face every single day.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're injecting a neurotoxin into someone's face, so it's definitely important to know what you're doing and where you're injecting and the facial anatomy. I mean, it's very important. And like I told you, I've had a couple injectors you ask me, where do you put injections for certain things? Like one asked me or showed me this is where you put an injection for a brow lift, and it was actually where you would put it to drop the brow. So you get, situations like that, which are somewhat horrifying.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Yeah. And I had another one that said, oh, you can't really mess up Botox. Also a little bit frightening. So yeah, you definitely want to go to someone that's experienced and knows what they're doing and has, like I said, the proper education and training.
For sure. And I mean, sometimes like things happen, like you can't always predict if a brow is actually going to drop. I'm sure everyone at this point, that girl last year was on big on Instagram and TikTok of sharing her story with her brow being completely dropped and then her face. It almost looked like she had a stroke. Do you remember that girl?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, which is good. And a lot of people wouldn't want to show that negative result, but
Yeah.
I think it's good for the industry for people to actually know that that can happen and why you want to go to someone that actually knows what they're doing and didn't take a 1 day program and is out injecting people.
Yeah. So scary.
Yeah.
Um, Another question that I get quite often with patients is a full syringe of filler can lead to an overdone look.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's maybe the price also that throws people off. That they think if I'm
Hmm.
spending this much money, I mean, I must be getting a lot. Unfortunately, these products aren't cheap. One syringe is 1 milliliter. So if you think of a small little teaspoon, that's 5 milliliters. That's 5 syringes that would fit into that. So if you
I
spread
know,
if you spread 5 milliliters over the face, it's a very small amount when it's dispersed over that area, right?
for
Um,
sure.
so no, definitely not. One syringe is not going to be look overdone unless you're putting it all in one spot. For some people, small lips, putting a full syringe in is probably going to make them look overdone.
Hmm.
But if you're doing that over multiple areas, then one syringe really isn't going to do hardly anything.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like with one syringe, you would probably, again, depending where you are putting it in the face, you would barely notice it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then remember that one patient we had, I did a quarter of a syringe in her lips and they were full. It
Yeah,
was actually, yeah, I was even slightly surprised.
I know. I think I know that. Like you did that for me too. A quarter of a syringe, and it was like my lips were massive.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little mini plump. Really just
um,
hydrates them more than anything, right? So,
I know. Every time a
mhm.
patient leaves with fresh freshly done lips, I'm like, oh, they look so nice because the color is perfect. They are so smooth and they just look so good.
Right. Yeah.
If I get dermal filler, it will leave my skin saggy and wrinkly after it wears off. Is that true?
Maybe if we're talking about the people in California and New York that are overdone, but no.
Yeah, the housewives.
Yeah. If you're way overfilled and your skin is stretched for a long time, that actually could potentially be true. But for the general population, definitely not. If we're only putting in a couple of syringes here or there, that won't happen. Same with lips. Typically, if lips are overfilled and you dissolve them, they will go back to normal after.
It's so sad because like I feel like, well, there was that Kim Kardashian interview where she said she didn't really get anything done. Like she was just saying she's never had her lips filled, she's never had her cheeks filled, and she's setting the standard for so many young people to think that's how she looks naturally when she just has a really good injector.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there that like, I mean, we associate people who are like really overdone with like having a terrible injector and people who are who look like Kim Kardashian with like they don't have an injector at all. But in reality, you can look good with a little bit of filler without looking overdone.
Yeah, absolutely. It just I guess it prolongs that more youthful look because she's in her early 40s. So clearly, everyone at that age has lost some volume here or there. So yeah, it's just really restoring the volume that's been lost, and that can look very natural.
For sure, and we see it all the time. Like I've never seen a patient walk out of here where they look overdone. I've seen it in other places or even just in my daily life where I look at lips particular, like because people, I think I notice lips the most on people, especially if they've had them done. You can always tell like an overfilled lips.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of a trend right now for some people, which I don't really agree with or think it looks that good, but some people want that overfilled look. I guess they want people to know that they've had stuff done and yeah, again, it's self-preference, right?
Yeah, to each their own, whatever makes you happy, I guess.
Yeah, I always try to educate them and talk about the natural look versus the overfilled and try to find out why they want that look and ultimately they have the final say as to what they want done. But
yeah, I know. I think we always say this, like, who are we to say you can't look this way? Like to us, like we have a certain standard for what would be too much for like our face, but to everyone else, like they might enjoy more filler.
Yep. Yeah. In the end, you can only educate the patient and then they have the final say. But I always think more natural is better.
For sure. Another question that I have is botox and fillers can be toxic to your body and can potentially harm you. Is this true?
Yeah, it's a neurotoxin, so it has to be bad, right?
I know. I remember my mom, like when I first started working in this industry, she'd always like make the comment of like rat poisoning or whatever with botox. Like my mom is just like a natural queen. She never, I'm almost pretty sure she uses Dove soap to wash her face. There's two types of people, but she would never, like, she always said like with botox and stuff. Now she's, I think, a little bit more open to it because I do it, but yeah, like again with the rat poisoning or the toxin, people are typically more scared.
Yeah, it sounds slightly frightening, but it works like many other drugs, and it just basically stops the release of acetylcholine, which helps with muscle contraction. So if you don't have muscle contraction, you can't make those facial expressions that cause the wrinkles, and that's why they soften. So no, it's not as bad as it sounds. That's why calling it a neuromodulator is often a little less frightening to people.
For sure.
I guess warfarin is the other one that everyone says is rat poison. So I think I hear that pretty much on a daily basis. That if someone's on warfarin, especially, they say they're taking rat poison. So Yeah,
As far as fillers?
definitely no rat poison. And yeah, yeah, and fillers are safe too. I mean, it's hyaluronic acid. We have it naturally in our body. Obviously, this isn't the natural form, but
Hmm.
it is quite safe. But sometimes the body will recognize it as foreign, and we'll try to encapsulate that and
Hmm.
ward it off. And so there's definitely risks and complications that can happen with filler, but no, it's not poisonous. It's very safe and reversible.
Yeah. And like, again, going to someone that you trust and that has experience. The next question I have is, since so many clinics offer the same treatments, I should be going to the cheapest one.
Yeah, yeah, we see this a lot.
I know it's unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone offers deals, which kind of what's the word
You
I'm
almost feel
thinking of?
guilty when people come in and they're like, oh, like I saw a sign for somewhere else. And I think
Yeah,
working on the back end, we know how much things actually cost and the time that is put into like certain things too that people may not understand as well.
yeah, and I think if the deals are too low. I mean, often they're too good to be true, but it also devalues the industry slightly a little bit too, which I don't agree with that either. Of course, we have to have certain standards within our industry, and I don't know. I guess I just don't want to undercut other providers, and there should be a normal range that we stay within, and I think that's the best for everyone involved in any industry, really.
For sure. Just remembering if a deal is too good, it's probably too good to be true.
Yeah, yeah, and we see that. There's a chain here in Canada, and their prices and deals are like off the charts, and they look really good. But as we've seen, many patients come back, and they end up spending more by the time they leave. They end up spending more than they would have if they just went somewhere else because they
For
get upsold
sure.
on other treatments, or the deal wasn't what was advertised or what they thought it was going to be. So yeah, you have to read the fine print and know what you're getting yourself into. Some clinics are charging less than it would cost me to do it at cost. So clearly, they're not using Health Canada regulated products, and that can be an issue too, and is less safe and less
Yeah, there's
regulated.
so many issues around that. I think
Hmm.
like even with just like going to a place, it's about the experience too. Like you want the follow-ups, you want someone to be able to connect with someone and ask questions and whatever else. So I feel like when people come to us, it's not even just about getting the injections, it's also about the experience that you get when you're here too.
Yeah, someone that's going to make you feel comfortable and safe and relaxed. That's not rushing and you feel confident in their experience and what they're doing.
Another myth that I hear is that only females get aesthetic treatments done. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, and as we're well aware, definitely more females get procedures done. I mean, that's the way it is across the board, but definitely it's becoming more popular for men. More men are getting involved with it. I guess it's probably like the women maybe 10 years ago where there's a lot of stigma around getting procedures done and they kind of wanted to hide it. And now women are more open to it. But men are starting to come in, but they don't want others to know about it. So you don't see a lot of men coming in and posting about it like you might see the females, but it's becoming far more popular. Botox, again, it's a great treatment to get people introduced to the field. That's usually the first thing that they're getting done. After that, then just like women, we start losing volume in our face, and people want to just look a little bit more natural, a little bit more youthful. And then another one is PRP for the hair that we see people come in for as well, because men typically don't want to lose their hair either. So those are probably the three most common things that we treat men for.
A little Botox never hurt anyone, and it's one of those treatments that you just never regret getting.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like we were saying earlier, if you don't like it, then you just, after a few months, it wears off. You go back to the way you were before.
I think we've covered a lot of the myths that are surrounding the cosmetic aesthetics, but there's obviously a lot more out there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's many more that we could probably touch on, but we might leave that for another episode.
Thank you so much for listening. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out.
If you have any questions you would like me to answer on future episodes, send us a DM on Instagram at KeysMD Cosmetic Clinic or email us at info@keysmd.ca, and I'll try to answer as many as I can on upcoming shows. If you like what you hear, don't forget to share and subscribe so that you never miss another episode and to help us grow.